Hello. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Hopefully this will be a shorter astrological assessment of this week where, we kind of came through the trenches of Scorpio season. Likely we all had a big, nice, juicy death and rebirth process. And, for me, it was very stressful, very like, we're in it. And, for people that I know too, it was like that. And there was a lot of like fixed square energy, right? We just had that really powerful eclipse conjunct Algol, and, in Taurus, right? So coming out of that and coming into this Sagittarius season, it seems like, the air is a little bit lighter. There's like a little bit more like optimism in the field. It's like easier to see like certain possibilities and potentials. But Sagittarius also has to do with our belief system, what we feel to be true. It also has to do with things like religions. And I think of like just belief constructs in general as Sagittarius, right? So what's happening is like, not today, but tomorrow, which is Tuesday, the sun is going to move into a conjunction with the South Node in Sagittarius. And, Wednesday, then Mercury moves into Sagittarius. Thursday, Mercury conjuncts the South Node in Sagittarius. And I've been talking about on this channel and almost every astrology video that I've done on here, because I really started actually like this initiative of like regularly making YouTube videos when the North Node moved into Gemini and the South Node moved into Sagittarius. So, I've kind of been talking about how this is a good time to question your belief constructs, to, question the dogmas that you've been sort of like conditioned to uphold and why, and, to look at all of them equally. And I think that with the North Node in Gemini, it's been positive to keep an open mind, to stay curious, to also to kind of look at the facts along the way, perhaps rather than getting like subsumed in the big picture with the South Node in Sagittarius. The South Node in Sagittarius also brought somewhat-ish, for some people, of a halt to travel, and is, in different ways, right? So so the North Node in Gemini maybe is like more encouraging, like more movement in our local communities and our local environments. For me, I live in the States and I live in the South. So if I want to like get out somewhere, I'll go like to the mountains or something, just as an example. So yeah, so the sun moving into Sag, it's like, okay, that's nice, that's light, that's good, but my concern is that, we're going to get super, super hopeful, super, super optimistic. And, this touches on like Neptune and Pisces transit, right? Because, Neptune and Pisces, Neptune has been in Pisces since, I guess, gosh, like 2011, and will be there until 2025. So this is, in a sense, it's the end of some kind of cycle, with Neptune closing out, the full zodiacal wheel. I feel that with Neptune and Pisces, because Pisces is, at least in modern astrology, ruled by Neptune. So there's a lot of like delusion and getting lost and like, and lying to ourselves. I think that that's like the primary thing maybe that I wanted to come chat about was, since Sagittarius, at least in its most ideal form, in its brightest and best, is all about the truth and the bigger picture of the truth. And I think that, there's aspects of ourselves with these squares from, Gemini to Pisces to Sagittarius, these squares, I think that there have been parts of us that have been hidden from us. There have been parts that we are like, kind of keeping from other parts. There's like, we could be in a good deal of self-deception right now, for all we know, right? With Neptune and Pisces, it's that kind of energy. Like we wouldn't even really know if we were. Um, and it kind of it's the consuming waters of the abyss, like Neptune and Pisces, right? Which can also be extremely spiritual and like an initiation, but especially as Neptune like gets toward the latter degrees of Pisces, that's definitely closing something out. And, in order to close something out, that's an ending, that's a death of sorts, right? So anyway, all that to say, I think that in April of next year, provided that we're even still looking at the calendar at that point, right? Like in April of next year, I feel that that with Jupiter and Neptune conjunct, because Jupiter is moving into Pisces, yay, on December 30th, I think, of this year, and then we'll move um, into a conjunction with Neptune in April of next year. And the confusion, the lost energy, the deception, the propaganda, like while also simultaneously I'm picking up on for that exact conjunction, like this beautiful, beneficial, like upgrading, like connection. Like there's so many different ways I think that you can experience next year, and like that you can experience these conjunctions and Jupiter, Neptune specifically. But I think that the marker is like, are you discerning? Are you lying to yourself? Like, what is your, like, are you in a victimization? Like freaking, like, are you, oh, excuse me. Are you stuck in in your pain? Like, what is the underneath there? What is the there? And I think that Neptune and Jupiter conjunct is going to bring that out. It could be the most magical thing ever, or it could be the biggest illusion. And sometimes, those things kind of cross. So I'm really excited to see what actually happens. And I have a couple of ideas for like how that could go, though I haven't really shared them yet. But on a personal level, on a personal internal level, I feel that this Sagittarius season, it would behoove us, or it would behoove me anyway, to look at what happened honestly, openly, objectively in Scorpio season over the last month. Pick out the gems of wisdom that came from them, right? Like we all have there's revelations that we get when we go through things. So, pick through those experiences and get the gems, get the meat that you need from them. And then I think that that's a good use of time, in addition to maybe there's a little bit of spontaneity that we have room for in Sag season that we wouldn't otherwise, so like one thing that I really admire about the sign of Sagittarius in general is the possibilities and the openness to the possibilities. And that's something for myself, I know that I'm actually trying to imbibe and call in. And that's something that I think is a good intention to set as well, to be just more aware of, these different possibilities as they meet you, and, to be able to recognize them and feel into whether or not they're right for you. Because I think that the Jupiter Neptune conjunction of April and next year seems to have a lot to do with positioning yourself. Where are you located, not just in the world, but who are you with, that kind of thing. It seems important. Pisces is a dual sign, so there's two fishes, swimming in the opposite direction. So yeah, I think that this week is a good time to release false beliefs, please. Release false beliefs with this Sun conjunct the South Node and Mercury conjunct the South Node. If you find yourself, acting as an expression with the planets, or if you find yourself living, some of these cycles, not everybody does, I think, but for me, I'm very in tune with this. I try to pull out of it every now and again, but if you're feeling the planets then you probably will naturally encounter a situation where you have to release a belief because you realize that it's holding you back. When the sun and Mercury come up against the South Node, we recognize things that are holding us back. We recognize, situations, whatever. And we are in the middle of this eclipse season where certain things are just coming in and certain things are, going away. And, it's like, we are reminded, I think, in these 2-week eclipse windows that closes on December 4th with a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. Yay. We are reminded that we don't have any control. I mean, we have some control. It's a co-creative process. You and all of you, are working, together. And there's also a lot of other people doing that, around you simultaneously. There's other things that are involved, but, I think that these planets, the sun and Mercury, December 9th and December 16th are going to come up into a square with Neptune. And I want for you guys to examine what you're telling yourselves on these days and kind of in that little window. I think that there's a story arc that's been forming around this Neptune and Pisces since 2011. And I think that there's like a key there, December 9th through December 16th. Remember the story that you tell yourselves, make sure that it's honest, make sure that it's, realistic. I think Venus and Capricorn is going to like keep us realistic anyway. But yeah, so I think that that's all. Just wanted to say my piece about this week's astrology. Sagittarius is just fun. So definitely just have fun, and yeah, thank you. Bye.